Hello and thanks for joining us on the Diaspora. Now, let us reflect again on the paper delivered at the 2016 National Migration Dialogue by the Presidential Aide on Diaspora, given its plausible postulations and contemplations on why Nigeria's diaspora should be effectively engaged in the nation's development agenda. Jide Olatuye will do some critical appraisal on diaspora engagement, having participated in the dialogue. And by popular demand, our Diasporan of the Week again is Dr. Isioma Okoba, in deference to an uncommon commitment to the health needs of her people of Asaba, Delta State. This is the Diaspora on NTA. The 2016 National Migration Dialogue, organized by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, with support from the Global Program on Migration and Development of the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, has as its theme coherence in migration governance, managing migration and displacement, the way forward.
First, it seems to me to be obvious that we must re-examine the usefulness and adequacy of current local and global rules and policies on migration. But to do so, we must redefine existing narratives. We must think through how the issues of reducing human tragedies and human discomforts suffered by most forced immigrants can be improved. Must it be the case, as Bex, a respected voice on the subject, said, that the only choices for forced migrants should be either camps or urban poverty or dangerous illegal journeys to safety? Should those be the only options? Should we not now begin to interrogate issues of how to document large numbers of refugees in our migration governance conversations? Are there ways by which forced migrants can be matched by processes within a global system to countries that can accommodate them and even meet their particular skills? How can countries that take in refugees be assisted by the multilateral financial and government institutions, say, for example, by way of budget support or some other types of financial assistance? How do we address the populist nationalism narratives that today appear to be sweeping through the West and, worse, appear to be a formula for electoral success? How about the complications introduced by terrorism, as evidenced by the mindless extremism of ISIL and Boko Haram?
These issues have further revalidated the urgent need for key stakeholders, including the policymakers, to come together and design appropriate response mechanism to strengthen policy response and agree on strategic approach for mainstreaming migration into national development agenda, considering the role of migration in the achievement of the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals.
The dialogue was inspired by the need to go beyond the rhetoric of just observing the International Migrants Day to include evolving concrete and practical approach in raising awareness about the about the Nigerian migratory landscape and addressing the internal and international emerging trends in migration.
Switzerland and Nigeria have a close collaboration on migration, and this closeness is reflected in the migration partnership signed in 2011. Nigeria was the first African country with which Switzerland established such a partnership. This very dynamic agreement attempts to address together the various challenges of migration in a comprehensive and coherent manner, and to achieve an equitable balance between the interests of Switzerland and Nigeria, and of course in the interest of the migrants. Since the partnership was established, there has been an intensive cooperation between Nigeria and Switzerland on various projects in different areas, such as capacity building and migration management, the fight against human trafficking, and the protection of vulnerable migrants.
What the Presidential Aide on Diaspora and Foreign Affairs, Abike Dabiri Arewa, did with the platform provided by the 2016 National Migration Dialogue with her paper titled Diaspora Engagement Practical Guide and the Need for a Clearer Policy Direction, was to copiously situate the potential of the Nigeria's diaspora in its professional and other competencies to drive national development processes.
America, as you have heard, has described Nigerians in the diaspora as the most educated immigrants anywhere in the world. But we need to engage with them. And that is what we've been trying to do. And like I said, we're recording some success stories.
It should not, however, be lost on government, she noted, the imperatives of standard infrastructure and other governance, security, political, economic and social issues that will combine to engender an environment of mutual engagement with diasporans for national development.
So the challenge is, why aren't we engaging enough? Why aren't we having them, be more involved in what we're doing?
These push and pull factors, she said, have tasked the overarching objective for a national policy on diaspora and a diaspora commission.
It captures the function of the policy on issues such as trade and investment, remittances, diaspora day, consular and immigration services, health and education, tourism and culture, agriculture, science and information technology, creation of a comprehensive database of Nigerians in the diaspora, the role of the diaspora network in the design and implementation of Nigeria's development strategies, promotion of diaspora investments and savings, build data on remittances, as well as issues of knowledge skills transfer. It also explores approaches to mobilizing and engaging the diaspora on social issues such as politics and governance, healthcare, housing, and urbanization. The document will also set the roles and responsibilities of ministries, departments, and agencies on the process of policy implementation as it relates to the Nigerian diaspora. It takes a cursory look at institutional arrangements for policy implementation, formation of a presidential committee on diaspora, and hopefully establishment of the Nigerian Diaspora Commission.
In case you're just tuning in, this is The Diaspora on NTA, Africa's largest television network.
Information and news updates. Visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Jide Olatui was a participant in the 2016 National Migration Dialogue.
I saw you at that migration dialogue in Abuja that happened not too long ago. And I think it must be for that reason that Abikeda Brerewa made that paper presentation.
Okay, yes.
There's issues what we think we should be doing as a government, as a people, to tap from that particular capital, you call it the diasporans.
The migration definition of diaspora says you are only a diaspora as far as you have lived more than 6 months outside your country of origin. And after you have lived, more than 6 months, you are willing and able to contribute to development of your country of origin. Okay. So you have to be willing in the first place and be able to contribute to development of your home country, of a country of origin. Diasporas are a vital, capital, offshore capital that is outside this country that Nigeria as a country need to tap directly into, so that they can, whether in terms of their remittances, whether in terms of their, when we say remittances, we mean their financial remittances, their social remittances, their skill remittances, their efficiency remittances. I'm not saying that people here in Nigeria cannot on their own also make development happen. But when you have a combination of both those in Nigeria and those of them that are they have different environments, they have operated in different environments, they have seen how things work in other environments, and because of that, and they have even contributed. So what is it that is stopping Nigeria, from tapping directly into these offshore resources and saying, okay, combine this with the internal resources, onshore resources that you have, and make this country great? Most countries around the world are doing that now.
Now, Jide,
Yeah.
it's a two-way thing.
Okay.
I do not know if I'm right. The government has to do something. Now, from the standpoint of the diaspora themselves, you must have interacted with some of them.
Yeah.
What is their own issue? Are they not ready to contribute? Are they not willing to come over and help this country?
We were discussing at that conference.
Yes.
If you want to establish a business in Nigeria, people in the country believe that you have come with dollars, you have come with money. So they want to help you to fritter the money away. The processes even for, registering a business. In other countries, you want to register a business, you don't need to go to CAC to go and acquire anything. Online, you do your registration, online you get your registration. You don't need to belong to a queue, a clique, before you get businesses coming to you. Once you get registered in online, and once they realize that somebody from outside the country or somebody in the country needs your expertise, they write you a mail. They send you the mail.
These are the kind of things
these are the kind of things that should be happening in Nigeria that is not currently happening. And we have people that can make that one happen in Nigeria. But the system here is not conducive. We will also take the issue of electricity, power. Energy level in this country is still cataclysmic. Nigeria needs to address on a fast, quick, speedy basis is energy, the energy crisis, energy deficit. So I believe that, for example, if the government provides the enabling environment for diasporas to operate, they will definitely come and contribute to enhancing development in Nigeria as it is. The way they receive diasporans, to the extent that if you are a medical doctor and you have practiced 30 years, in the US, and when you want to come here, they make medical practice, make it and help you start difficult for you. Even if you have awards, if you have demonstrated enough that okay, you have done this severally, abroad, and you have even received the award, when you come here, it's another ball of game entirely. It becomes too anti-competitive. Because they think that you are coming to come and take over their clientele, or you are coming to take over their own bragado or their own ego. I was also myself a diaspora before I came back to Nigeria. And that is why I have been doing what I'm doing in this country, contributing to development policy. I was part of the team, the review team that reviewed the national migration policy for Nigeria, the national labor migration policy for Nigeria, the diaspora policy for Nigeria. Now this office is coordinating the ECOWAS common policy for migration for the entire sub-region of. So it is because of avalanche of skills and expertise that were gained from outside the country that we are able to do this.
But that is patriotism in itself too.
Even when we find out that the environment is not that conducive,
yes,
it's not that easy to operate. But I am primarily a Nigerian.
Yes. Why you're not considering that government should play their part?
Yeah. So
contribute.
Contribute my own quota to the development in the country. So this is what I'm also encouraging other diasporans to also come and do in Nigeria. When you come to do this, the impact will begin to sift into the system until when it catches on. There's more need for government to be bolder, to be more decisive in recognizing that the diaspora sector of this country is an important economic sector that the government needs to also focus on to bring growth and development to this country. Paul, thank you.
Our Diasporan of the Week is a board-certified medical doctor in family and preventive medicine. 16 years post-call, based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States of America. Give it up for Dr. Isioma Okoba.
I actually went to University of Benin and went to the United States of America to specialize in family and preventive medicine. When I came home to visit Nigeria, I actually went to my hometown, Ibodo, in Delta State. And so when I got back there was no medical center. The community had never had a medical doctor. And so my people had never had access to medical care. And so that made me come up with a vision to give back to my community and actually help the people with their medical needs. So that made me start the Dr. Isioma Okoba Foundation, where I come once a year, which is usually in December around Christmas, and give free medical consultation and also free medication to people in the rural community. But this really started from Ibodo, which is my own hometown. Yeah, basically, like I said, I'm board certified in family and preventive medicine. And so my goal is more with preventive medicine. And what we do is when we see these patients, we screen them for high blood pressure. We also screen them for diabetes, and we also screen them for high cholesterol. And because we know that these are the main causes of long-term medical conditions that can lead to increased morbidity and mortality, such as patients with high blood pressure really do not know that they have high blood pressure, can actually have a stroke, which we call the cerebrovascular accident, and that can lead to long-term disability or even death. And so that's the increase in the mortality. And then we also know that diabetes and high blood pressure can also increase your risk for stroke and also for a heart attack. That would increase mortality and also increase disability. And so when we screen these patients, we make sure that if we identify those with high blood pressure or those with diabetes, we treat them right there, and then also emphasize the need for them to continue to see their medical doctors. They don't stop with us. We really encourage that they get medical care in their primary health care centers, and then also make sure they see a doctor within 1 to 2 or 3 months, and then make sure they get their medications. And then based on this, because I knew there was an importance with continuity of medical care, I went ahead and built a community health center in my village, which I personally built. Actually, they call it a hospital in Ibodo, and this was actually commissioned 4 years ago. And yes, it is. And I have a medical doctor stationed there, and I also have nurses, at least 5 nurses and administrators and pharmacy. And I send the medications from America on a monthly basis. And so I say to the patients, if you cannot afford the medicines when you go to your primary care doctors, you can actually come to Ibodo, where you get free medical services such as free consultation. They also check your blood pressure, check your blood sugar, and then you also get the free medications from my center. And that way we ensure that there's continuity of medical care after we come and leave in December. So every community we go to, we see at about 1,000 patients. It's pretty expensive, but I can say right now, I would say I bear the burden. Initially when I started off, I used to bear the burden for like 100%, but this time around, I would say like a 90% because I had donations with people coming with me this time around. This year, I actually partnered with the Delta State government, and so I have His Excellency Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, who is also a medical doctor and who was also who was the one who inaugurated the hospital I donated to my community 4 years ago, and he's partnering with us this time around, so that really helped with the logistics, because that helped us a lot with the accommodation, with the feeding and transportation and security, which is really key. And what really it's different this time around is I came with medical students from the United States of America. I have 12 medical students with me from the Georgia State University. They actually belong to a group called Medical Students Making a Difference. And so these students approached me in August of this year and said they wanted to partner with me to come to Nigeria because they had seen the website and they really wanted to go to the rural communities. And so these students were able to raise funds on their own because they went to GoFundMe and all the other ways to raise funds. So they were able to come up with some money with which we had put together to buy the drugs that we're using this time around. So actually it's a partnership with Medical Students Making a Difference and Delta State Government and Dr. Isiomolkova. So that made it a lot easier. My suggestion to you, the diasporans, is they can actually reach out to their state government, and if they see that they have a very viable project, I believe the government here in Nigeria is really ready to partner with them. And I also have American students. These are people who have never left America before, and they're here in Nigeria. And if they can do that, I don't know why we Nigerians in diaspora cannot do that. It's a lot of selfless sacrifice, there's no doubt about that. And I pray God to continue to help me to continue to fund it. But going forward, since it's becoming a really big project, my plan is to start to reach out to international organizations and also reach out for grants. Those are the things I'm looking forward to come 2017 to really help, make this project sustainable.
I did not pay anything for the medication, including eyeglass, all free. You see, it's quite emotional.
Tell God to bless her and bless his workers. Let God give her long life and still give us long life.
We are praying for her, that God should be using her as he is helping Igbo people, that God will bless her handwork in Jesus' name.
Now, you see what I mean? A classical example of patriotic and selfless service, courtesy of Nigeria's diaspora. And what a way to bid farewell to 2016 by the diaspora, your indisputable companion. And may 2017 strike all of us in ways that would not question the true nature of our essence. That's a wrap on this edition. On behalf of the production crew, it's Happy New Year and thanks for your time.